Level 1, Puntero. Age, 10. You have no name. You are the Puntero. At 10 years old, your seniority is measured by how many times you managed to whistle before the police lights swarmed in. You are the smallest sacrificial lamb of Barrio 18. Your life's anchor is a broken plastic chair on stinking, muddy ground, where you sit for 14 hours a day. In your hand is a cheap, overheating burner phone, a sharp contrast to the shiny silver chain on your wiry wrist, the only piece of fake jewelry proving you have a family. Your loop is soulless. Spot a strange car arrow, whistle arrow, hit the call button. You do it hundreds of times until whistling becomes more instinctive than breathing. Don't ask who's in that car or why the sacks in the alley are leaking blood. Here, a misplaced question earns you a paliza, a brutal beating with iron rods. The system doesn't need your brain. It only needs a mouth that screams, alarm. Every week, you get $20, barely enough for one decent meal, but priced at the cost of dozens of lives in the shootout you just helped conceal. You delude yourself into thinking you're a hero, but in reality, you're just a disposable part. Tonight, as you watch the previous soldado get dragged into the shadows with a hole in his forehead, you'll have to dive deeper into the grime. You'll pick up your first package to level up, or you'll starve. Look, another 8-year-old is standing on the corner, staring at your plastic chair. Don't breathe too loud. If your whistle is 1 second late, your name will vanish like dried blood under a patrol car's tires. Your whistle cuts short when a non-corrupt cop smashes your Nokia. You lost the lookout post, and the whole shipment got busted. The palabrero presses a knife to your throat. You owe the family a life. Either take this bag and sell it all, or you're going in a hole. 3 years pass. You're 13 now. The kid in the plastic chair is dead. Now, you are level 2, the Tricados. Your anchor is no longer the old corner, but dark alleys reeking of trash. You stand between a Ziploc bag full of white powder and a rusty homemade shotgun, Chimbomba, hidden behind your back. The new loop begins. Rip the bag, weigh the product, collect the cash. You do it so fast you don't even need the scale, erasing all traces every time you hear an unfamiliar engine. You no longer take orders to watch. You dispense white death to the junkies crawling at your feet. A 1-gram error is enough to cost you a knuckle. The system doesn't need excuses. It demands absolute precision. Every night you hold $500, your father's entire yearly income back in the village. But in exchange, you're carrying 3 kilograms of narcotics and a 20-year prison sentence hanging over your head. You think you're a big shot, but you're just a living ATM for the Renfleros. Don't celebrate as your pockets get heavy. At this level, if the cops don't kill you, a stray bullet from the next Puntero kid wanting your stash will. You've waded too deep into the mud. Hold your breath. Death is standing right behind you in the shadows of that alley. A customer overdoses right in front of you. Instead of calling an ambulance, you pick his pockets clean and vanish. The palabrero looks into your trembling eyes. You've got the guts to sell, but do you have the guts to kill yourself? 2 years pass. You're 15 now. You're no longer a runner. You are level 3, the Chiquillo. Your anchor is a crumbling, moldy warehouse. You stand between a ticking stopwatch and 18 soldados with clenched fists. Your loop shifts to a blood ritual. Take the beating, stand up, stay silent. For exactly 18 seconds, you are pulverized, your ribs crushed, tasting your own blood without being allowed to scream. You don't ask why you're being hit. You just count the seconds to be reborn. A single moment of cowardice or a plea for mercy earns a bullet to the back of the head, your body dumped in the brush like a factory reject. You are trading 18 seconds of hell for a permanent 18 tattooed into your flesh. A ticket into the family, but also a death warrant you signed yourself. You earn the fear of the kids on the street, but the truth is, you just lost your right to be human. Don't look in the mirror. The person in there isn't you anymore. Hold your breath and take that last punch. If you drop now, this warehouse becomes your unmarked grave. Your best friend just got butchered by MS-13 at the end of the block. The palabrero shoves a hot Beretta into your chest. Blood for blood, or you're the next one gone. You pull the trigger into the dark, killing your last shred of innocence. 1 year passes. You're 16 now. The Chiquillo died in that beating. You are level 4, the Soldado. Your anchor is the back seat of an SUV with blacked out windows. You sit between a loaded gun and a gaudy devil mask. Your loop is now, receive target to open fire to torch the car. You do it as cold as a machine. No more moral questions, just the sound of brass casings hitting the floor. You aren't the kid at the gate anymore. You are death's right hand. 1 second of hesitation on the trigger, and your own brothers will bury you alive to tie up loose ends. You hold the power of life and death, taking 3 lives in a single night, more than the number of your friends still alive. You might have thousands of dollars in your pocket, but you can't sleep more than 2 hours without dreaming of ghosts. You think you've reached the peak of street power, but you're just a consumable part, ready to be tossed away when the cops need a scapegoat. Hold your breath and grip the steel. The sirens are getting closer, and at this level, there's no room for the slow. A drive-by hits the wrong target, leaving an innocent child dead. The police start turning the neighborhood upside down. The palabrero looks at you with contempt. You shoot like a blind man. Now, I'm gonna go get the rival boss's head to make it right, or gouge out your own eyes. You vanish into the darkness, training so you never miss a second time. 3 years pass. You're 19 now. The reckless soldado is dead. You are level 5, the gatillero. Your life's anchor is a windowless basement smelling of gun oil. You stand between a heat map of the city and a collection of blackened suppressors. Your loop? Study the schedule to 1 shot to the head to vanish without a trace. You perform it like a silent ritual. No noise, no emotion. You don't do messy SUV shootouts anymore. You are the blade that handles targets the rest of the gang fears. The slight scuff of a shoe or a millimeter off center means a life sentence in the hole, or a bullet from the friend you trust most to wipe the slate clean. You take the lives of made men, deaths worth more money than your entire bloodline could earn in 10 lifetimes. You have the power to make a whole neighborhood hold its breath when they see your silhouette. But the truth is, you are the loneliest man in the world. You have no friends, only corpses waiting to call your name. Hold your breath and squeeze the trigger. At this level, you have 2 choices: become a legend of the shadows or a ghost without a grave. During a hit, you find the victim's cash bag and think about skimming a small stack. But the palabrero saw everything. You've got fast hands. Now use them to hold the bag for the whole crew. If a single cent is missing, you lose a finger. You realize blood isn't the most valuable currency, it's the green. 4 years pass. You're 23 now. The gatillero has retired. You are level 6, the tesoro. Your anchor is a high-security luxury apartment. You stand between a rhythmic money counter and ledgers filled with complex codes. Your loop: collect protection money to launder the cash to pay the big boss's taxes. You do it with absolute precision, turning millions of dirty dollars into legitimate car washes and bars. You don't hold a gun anymore. You hold the financial destiny of an entire program. A small math error or skimming from the common fund means being soaked in gasoline and burned alive in your own living room. You manage millions every month, figures your mother never dared to dream of. But that pile of cash is the noose that tightens around your neck every night. You have the power to move resources for hundreds of soldados. But you live in constant fear that your own brothers will butcher you to take your seat. Hold your breath and recount that stack. At this level, loyalty is just a number, and if you aren't rich enough to bribe death, he'll find you very quickly. The old palabrero gets snatched in a raid, and the neighborhood falls into chaos. The council throws you an encrypted phone. Clean up this mess, or we'll clean you out. You step over the bodies of rebels to restore order. 5 years pass. You're 28 now. The money man is gone. You are level 7, the palabrero. Your anchor is a smoke-filled VIP lounge in a nightclub. You stand between a hit list and thick stacks of Benjamins. Your loop: hear reports to give orders to hand out punishments. You no longer get blood on your hands. You use your word to decide who lives and who dies. One wrong move that loses territory means your family gets wiped out as a warning. You control hundreds of lives, but you can't eat a meal without someone tasting it for poison first. You have the whole city at your feet, but the iron cage is narrowing. Hold your breath. At this level, you are the biggest target for every barrel in the city. A bloody counterattack from MS-13 leaves 3 of your sectors in ruins. Revenue plummets. The Ranfleros send a short message from prison. Connect the branches or become a pawn for the feds. You are forced to leave your small fiefdom for the global network. 7 years pass. You're 35 now. The local boss is dead. You are level 8, the corridor. Your anchor is an anonymous border villa. You stand between a wall of camera monitors and international shipping maps. Your loop: establish routes to coordinate weapons to manage interstate crises. You don't fight anymore. You run a dark logistics system where every shipment is worth a fortune. A minor glitch that gets a shipment seized by Interpol means an eternal extradition sentence to a supermax prison in the States. You own tens of millions, But you don't know your own child's face because you're constantly on the run. Your power spans countries, but you're just a ghost with no ID. Hold your breath and kill your GPS. At this level, your enemy isn't a rival gang, it's an entire government hunting you down. An undercover mole is discovered in the high ranks. You're the only one with the authority to sign a national purge order to protect the machine. The government responds with a scorched earth manhunt, backing you into a corner with no exit. You choose to step into the darkness of prison to maintain the empire from within. 10 years pass. You're 45 now. The corridor has been erased. You are level 9, the Ranflero. Your anchor is a damp, solitary cell with thick stone walls. You stand between a smuggled old radio and secret messages, wireless, written on cigarette paper. Your supreme loop, analyze intel to issue secret orders to maintain iron discipline. You no longer see the sun. You move 10,000 pawns on the street using words that carry the weight of a god. A single betrayal within the La Rueda, the Wheel Council, means being poisoned in your prison tray or permanent isolation in total darkness. You possess the power to dominate a nation, but the touch of a loved one is a luxury you can't afford. You have millions in secret accounts, but can't buy a single square meter of freedom. Hold your breath and listen to the guard's footsteps. Under your throne, a young corridor is already waiting to topple the old king. You have power. You don't have freedom.